found a different way to shop at Hermes while I've been here. Since being here in France, I have gone on a major Hermes shopping spree. Okay. I know you know this by now because I know you have seen the videos. If not, go check them out. I will tell you, I have been to every Hermes there is here, and I have enjoyed some more so than others, but I really did like going to all the different shops. So if you are visiting or planning a trip to Paris, France, and you intend on stopping at the Hermes stores, I would highly suggest stopping at all three, because there are three different locations. There's Soooooo, Flagship, which I am not going to try to pronounce, and George Cinq. And they are all great shops. You get very different treatment depending on, which one you go to. When we went to George Cinq on yesterday, there was a line, and I was just amazed at the fact there was a line, because at the other locations there were no lines. So, keep that in mind as far as planning your trip. Now, I found a different way to shop at Hermes while I've been here. And I'm only going to recommend this if you've been shopping at Hermes already, you've already established a history, and you've already kind of got a couple or at least one of your quota bags in your collection. If not, and you're just starting off, I would highly suggest not doing this, or doing it tactfully. I'll say it that way. So I started to go online, like I said in my previous videos. Like I said, if you haven't seen it, go check it out, long before coming to France. And over the last couple of weeks, I decided I would, do a deep dive in what's online versus what's in the shops. Because in the shops, there is hardly a majority of the time nothing there. Listen, there is a majority of the time nothing available. So keep that in mind when you're going, okay? Create a wish list, try to find what you can. If you can't, this is another option, okay? This is another alternative. So this is what I did, and I will insert a screenshot so you can see. I went online, scoured through, because after I got my Birkin, I really was set on getting a wallet and a pair of shoes to match. I am that person, I am, you already know I am. I love to keep it as simple as possible so that when I start to get ready, it takes no effort. It doesn't take a lot of thought. I'm just being honest with you. So I know that if I have my bag, and I have a pair of shoes to match my bag, and of course a nice wallet, it just pulls everything together for me. That's just me, okay? So with that being said, I went online, started going through all the items, and I will say the first thing I noticed was what is offered on the website here in France, of course, is very different than what's offered in the US. And even with bags, like I said, I'm gonna insert a screenshot. And as I was looking at small leather goods, there are more items posted more frequently here in France. I'm just gonna say it because I noticed it. But you still have to move fast. If you see something you want it, you need to get it. Don't wait, okay? The other thing that I've discovered is looking at the men's section when it comes to bags and small leather goods. Okay, listen to me. Check out the men's section. You never know what you may find and actually like. With that in mind, being mindful of where you are in your journey, right? Also being strategic, because I'm gonna share with you some of the things that you can do to still order online and have it count in store towards your purchase history. And 3, going outside of just the women's selection when it comes to bags and small leather goods. those are the 3 things that I just mentioned that are very key in this video and what I'm sharing with you. I went online, looked through everything. I went online, first off, because it was more convenient. We are still an hour away from Paris, which is really, really good because in the US, I'm like 3-4 hours away from an Hermes store. So this worked out very well for me. And I did, once again, a ton of research. I opted to, do the online purchase when I discovered that I could pick up in store. So this is how it worked. I placed my order. It roughly takes 2 days to get the order in. This is something else to keep in mind. If you're not going to be here for a certain amount of time, this may not work for you, especially if you're not going to be here for the 2 days it's going to take to be delivered in store. The other thing to keep in mind is holidays and the weekend. I'm just going to say it. It may take more time. Now, one time I ordered during a holiday and it still was 2 days after the holiday. One time I ordered on the weekend and it still was 2 days after the weekend. So they are very punctual here when it comes to placing orders and getting it to you. Once I placed the order, received the email, then once I got the email, it told me that I would be notified once it's available, the order's available in store. Once I got that email is when I went to Paris. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is they hold it for a number of days. And I think it was like 21 days, like that's just crazy. But they do, they'll hold it for you for 21 days. I went in the day after I basically got the email because like I said, it's convenient. I can hop on a train, I'm there in no time. Went ahead and did that. Now, I ordered at 2 different locations. Listen to me, 2 different locations. The first location, I went into the store and they immediately went and picked everything up. Now, I will suggest if you are going into the store and you still want to look around, don't get your order until you're ready to leave. Don't get it beforehand because then you're lugging around bags and God only knows if they don't remove the items from the boxes because you haven't requested it because you did it online, then you have these boxes. They could still do that after the fact, but just be mindful of it. Just the same with having the white bag. You can definitely request a white bag. Just make sure you request it when you're ready to basically, pick up your items. So go around the store and see what you want. I did not do that the first time. It was a little more complicated because we had these boxes that we were juggling around at the same time. I immediately asked for VAT, the tax-free. I asked for it as soon as I went in. The sales associate understood immediately and was like, okay, this is how it's gonna work. We went around the store with all these bags. I tried everything on. Always try on whatever it is you are picking up in the store, be it clothes, shoes, look at the small leather goods, just examine everything, make sure it fits, make sure it's to your liking. That is a piece of advice that I would suggest to anyone because you never know. You can't just say, well, I got it online to get it back to the house or the hotel room. And then you discover it's not what you wanted, not the color you wanted, something's wrong, I don't know. But I went ahead and tried it on. So this is what I ended up getting the first time I picked up. I got this wallet. And it's look at that. Isn't that just adorable? Wait, let's see. See that? Isn't that precious? And I found this wallet in the men's section. I know it's not the cutest thing in the world, but it is the perfect, and it has a little slit here too. So, and it has the card holders and a slot here, and that's basically it outside of that. And it zips, of course. This I love because this is just cute. And once again, it just matched perfectly with my bag. So I am happy with this. Let me tell you something. Hubs was like, if we could find another wallet for you, I would definitely take that. And I was thinking, boo, no, you're not getting my wallet. You're not getting my wallet. But I did try for him. I did try. They did not have these wallets. They did not have wallets in gold. They just are gold leather. They just didn't. That happened. The other thing I got was this cute pouch. Once again, it was in the men's section online, okay? And it's just one big pocket. So you can see some of the goodies I have in there. Yeah, it's just one big pocket. And once again, it has this little zip. It's so adorable. I just love it. And I love the fact that it matches my wallet. I know. And once again, it matches the bag. I know I could get any item, but I like what I like. So I'm gonna stick with that. And the last thing we got for this purchase, were some moccasins. I got myself some moccasins. They were the closest I could get to the tone of my bag. I opted to get them. And let me tell you, these are great. I was kind of skeptical because they are, and I already wore them a trillion times. Let me tell you, these shoes experienced all of Paris and the Louvre. I'm just saying, I just loved wearing them. But when I got them, I was skeptical because they only had it available. They had half sizes, but I ordered a 38 instead of a 37.5, which is a 7.5, and a 38 is size 8. I decided to go up that half size just in case. And when I tried them on, my feet were kind of slipping a little. And I was like, I don't know about this. But then I thought about it and was like, well, if I use inserts, because these shoes don't offer a lot of support. And also if I, and you can see I put the inserts in there, but if I also wanted to put on a thin sock or a sock period, it would be better to go up a size. So for walking purposes, these were perfect. And they're not as pointed as the Paris loafer. Listen, I wore the Paris loafer. I love those shoes, but the point, not the best to walk in for a prolonged period of time. These were more walk friendly, especially with the inserts. With the Paris loafer, I put the insert in. But because the toe's pointed, you know, it is what it is. So those are the items I ended up getting. After we walked around, made sure everything fit perfectly, went to check out. The salesperson at the register, the cashier, he immediately just was like, okay, so this is the process. And what they did was they submitted a return for the items in store, and then they made it as though I purchased it there and added the VAT. So I got my forms and everything, no issues whatsoever. It was seamless. Now, let me say this. If you have an essay, let's say you are already in Paris, you already kind of connected with someone and you're really liking that, try to place the order with your essay, because they can order things online and have them delivered to the store for you to pick up and try and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Do it that way. It is so much easier and seamless, and you don't have to worry about if it's going to count or not. Now, the way I did it in the first store, it counts. It counts towards my purchase history, period, because it's as though I went into the store and purchased the items. But if you go through an essay, I mean, you don't have to jump through hoops for the bags. And this is why I'm sharing this with you, okay? The second time I placed an order online. So I went online and as soon as fall dropped, okay, online, I was on it. As soon as there's a new item posted, be it a bag, SOG, shoes, I am on it, because I'm basically kind of looking at the website almost every day, if not every other day, just because it's just convenient for me and it's easy, especially being here in France. I mean, they list things so regularly. It's just amazing to me. I'm like, I wish I could have this in the US, but it's not that way. And a lot of the items are not in store yet. Some are, some aren't, because they're sold out or it hasn't reached them yet. I don't know, but it is what it is. Second trip, this time I placed the order at a different store. because I wanted to experience all the locations. And so it also gave me an opportunity to walk around as well. So what I ended up doing, went through the same process. I was going through the website, and I was like, oh my goodness, these shoes look perfect for me. And they match my bag. They checked all the boxes. So placed my order online, got the email saying, okay, notification, your order's been placed. You'll be emailed once the items are at the store. So I chose the third store, George Stank, which is the one that I hadn't visited as yet. So I was pretty hyped. I was pretty excited. I was like, oh my God, I get to see what's at all these locations and also experience the store themselves, because let me tell you, Sev is like a museum. It is a historical location. And let me tell you, if you have not been there, you have to go there. If for nothing else, take pictures. It is so beautiful. So I was excited. I was pretty pumped up. I get the email. We go in, and it was chaos. First, there was a line. So Hubs was like, I'm gonna wait in line because we have to wait. And I was like, no, we don't. We have an order. I'm going up to the front and showing them the order on the phone, because they always ask for it when you get there, plus identification. So when you place the order, when you're picking up, because I got ahead of myself, you need to have some form of identification, and you need to have the email showing the information that you placed the order. And that's basically the gist of what you need. So I went up to the front of the line, and I showed my phone, which the email on it, and the person was like, oh yes, immediately. So we go right in, we're ushered right into the store. And while we're there, the person that we are connected with, he is just fabulous. I mean, this person is amazing. And he was like, okay, here's your shoes. And I said, well, can I walk around? He was like, oh, absolutely, please walk around. We do not want you not to experience this location. Please feel free to walk around. So I did. I walked around. I tried to ask for a wallet. No, it didn't go over well. Just the same with the flagship store when I went and placed that order online, and I walked around and didn't find anything. They're just like, we don't have anything in the gold leather. They had items, just not the items I was looking for specifically. So we went up to, I think it was the second floor, and that's where shoes was. And I tried on the shoes, and these are what I ended up getting. Now, let me show you this. So if you unlock it and look here, see that? I know there are tons of people online talking about the slides that look like this, that are in black, and they don't have the rubber sole. I have those. And with those slides, it has this Kelly lock. And because it has a Kelly lock, sometimes the lock points downward instead of looking flush and straight. Well, they basically resolved that issue by adding that little bit of elastic there. Now, why does these work for me? Oh, first off, let me show you why they work. Boom. Perfect match to my shoes. Even the thread with the white stitching, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's a perfect match. Even the lock, now that I think about it, right? Look at the Kelly lock, the turn lock, is perfect. These are the perfect shoes. The tone is the exact same color. They're just the perfect shoe. And I'm a person who likes kind of zhuzhing up my sneakers, because I'm not a big sneakerhead, but I love wearing a comfortable shoe. These are perfect, right? They're like a loafer and a sneaker kind of just had a baby. It's amazing, amazing. And like I said, look at the tone. It's amazing, matches perfectly, but also see the difference, right? It is what it is. And I like both, and I'm definitely keeping both. But these I'm in love with. When I put them on, it was like walking on clouds. Like, these don't come in half sizes. These only come in a full size. So I went with a 38, and They are amazing. If you're looking for them, they're in the online, they're in the sneaker section. I noticed that when we were at Georges Cinq, they did have them in stores. So just know if you're in Paris, they're there. I don't know about in the US yet. After we got done looking around, I went ahead and I requested VAT, and the person was like, that's not allowed here. It's not authorized. And I was like, oh, really? And she was just like, yes, nowhere. And I said, well, I've received it, and I was smart enough that night when I prepare, I put the VAT form from the other store in there just in case this happened. So when we went to the register to cash out, I looked for the gentleman who helped us when we first entered into the store, and he was just like, oh my goodness, no. Typically, it's not the case. Like, we don't allow it, but you know, for you, we'll make an exception. Listen, I don't know. I just don't. That's why I say, be mindful if you decide to go this route. But also, if you have an SA or a person that you've connected with very well, ask them in person about placing an order for you online, so it really does count. So if you're new on your journey, this is not the first option or way that I would recommend going about it. But if you have no other option, or if you just found something that you can't find anywhere else, be mindful of what store you do this at, and be persistent. And that's the only thing I can say, right? I don't want to mislead anyone in saying, oh, this, you can demand it. Listen, when I kind of pushed back, I was very respectful. I was just very insistent, like, no, I can't accept that. And it worked. I don't know as far as anyone outside of myself, right? So if you can, go with an SA. Look in store first. Make your wish list. Take it with you in store. If the SA is not an option, you can't get it in store, and you have the time, you're going to be here for like 2 weeks or so, and it's more than 2 days that it's going to take to get to you, if it's not a weekend or a holiday, then try it, and just be mindful of what store you order the pickup at. That's all I can advise. 2 very different experiences at 2 different Hermeses. I did not try the online pickup at Civ. I just didn't, because I went there at the very beginning of the trip, and I got so many things that I wanted and was looking for. It was unnecessary. It's just that I so happened to be walking around carrying my bag, and I just was like, man, it would be real nice if I can kind of streamline carrying it and having different items. And that's when I started to actually search for the pieces. It worked out very well for me. And that's really all I can say. So let me look at my notes and make sure there is nothing that I am missing. How long does it take? I talked about that. Online France versus the US. I will insert clips on that. Check the men's section. I emphasize that. If you're beginning your journey, I highly recommend you stick with in-store, unless this is the only alternative. If it is, then try to get your VAT, and also try to do it in store so that it's a return but then repurchase, so that it counts towards your history. Online is convenient, let's be honest, especially if they have the item you're looking for and there's no crowd. You can really truly take your time. So that's another benefit. And like I said, there's just a ton more options if you catch it on the website at the right time. This I will emphasize: if there is something you don't want, for whatever the reason, don't get it. Just don't. I say that across the board when it comes to Hermes. Don't just get something for the sake of getting it or building a history. Just don't, okay? Or, oh, I forgot. You can ask for an exchange in store. I didn't even mention it. So for instance, when I got my moccasins, when I got these, I tried them on, and the person informed me that if they didn't fit, if they had it in store, I could exchange them. First off, they didn't have them in store. But they worked out for me, so that was a plus. But when I went to the other store and I got these, let me tell you, George Song, they had these. So I knew they at least had them, but if they were gonna be my size, I wouldn't have known because I tried them on and they fit. But just know if there's an item and they have it in store at that location, you can exchange it as well. So don't just buy things to buy them. And I talked about, can you get VAT? Usually you can't. That's what I've been told by one location versus another, but some locations permit it. That's all I can say. I suggest you go with an essay on this because they can order anything you want, have it delivered in store. By picking it up in store, you are guaranteeing it counts toward your purchase history if they do the return and then redo. So if you ask for VAT and they return it, but then charge you so that it looks like you purchased it that day at that location, it counts towards your purchase history. And maybe that's why they don't do it, so that people aren't, having online items count towards the purchase history. I don't know. But I'm just gonna put it out there. And then also look around before you pick up your order. Please do that. If you're ordering all kinds of stuff, please just look around first. Don't lug around all those bags. I mean, some of the spaces are tight, but then also crowded. So I'm just thinking of your convenience there. That is basically the gist of it. And I will say, let me tell you something. Okay, so I reached out to my SA in the US because there are items here and there, but I just was like, I still have to maintain my purchase history and my relationship in the US. So I reached out to her and was like, hey, I'm interested in these 2 dresses. Let me tell you, within 2 minutes, she responded, ordered the dresses for me in the sizes and colors I wanted. And so, boom, okay? If I could have gotten them here, but then I would have had to try on so many different sizes. And I know my SA in the US. I know her. So I'm more comfortable with doing it that way. I know as far as price, it is very different, but I have to maintain my history there. And you gotta buy something at both, because I'm in both. I'm in the US, I'm in France. I have to make purchases at both locations. I will only make purchases in France when I'm here for the 2 months. I'll be here twice a year. But while I'm in the US, I still have to maintain that relationship as well if I'm intending on being offered a bag there, a quota bag there as well. So it's a whole process. But yeah, I will definitely still be making purchases in the US. I just don't see waiting an entire year and coming here and solely trying to go through the process here, especially because there's a lottery system. Whereas in the US, it's just a different experience. And so I will continue to do that. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you found some nugget of information that will be useful to you. And as always, I'm not sitting here just banging on for the sake of banging on, because we all know I love to talk. I do. I just do. I love talking to all of you. So with that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to comment and let me know. If you've experienced the online pickup process yourself, yeah, share the info so others are aware as well. But yeah, thank you for stopping by, and until next time.